Okay, now we're gonna be learning how to render out our project. And so once you have taken the time to texture and put in some props in your scene, and this is what you should get. So now we're gonna learn how to keyframe the camera, and then we're gonna render out project. And then we're gonna go and create camera. And if you can't see it, then always go into your perspective view and the 4 panels. And once you're happy where you want to place it, go into panels, perspective, camera 1, and then you're in perspective, the view of the camera. So now this is our timeline down here, and we probably want to increase this to maybe like 300. It just depends how much we're gonna use. And we're gonna keyframe that camera in that position. Or perhaps we can turn it, rotate it, like so. And so we keyframe by hitting S. And once you've done that, then you will scroll your timelines, maybe up to 40 frames, and pan it back and hit S. Now we can move our camera with our arrow keys, and we maybe want to move it up a little bit. Move your frames first, and then you move your camera. And hit S or apply the keyframe. And continue doing that, and we will increase the pan to like 240, and we will rotate once again our camera. Press S. One way to edit or move the keyframes to adjust the speed is you go into Windows, Animation Editor, Dope Sheet, and you will get this window, and it will give you the keys. By pressing A on the keyboard will give you everything that all the the keys that you made. So by dragging with the left key mouse on the keys, you can, and by the middle mouse, by dragging it on one side, you can adjust and move this along the time slider. And once you're done, happy with what you've done, you can close it and the adjustment is made. So if we go over here, make a quick play blast, and make sure to click on start to end in case you edit more frames than 340 or so forth. So make sure you type the frames of the last frame that you key, and click play blast, and it's gonna show you how fast the camera is moving through the scene. And right now it's rendering the camera you have placed. One thing about rendering is that the more frames of course you add, the longer it will take to render. And since the play blast that we just did is not a real render, in the sense that the lights and textures and so forth will not come up as bright, as clear as it would do when you do an actual batch render. So this is how it would look like, the speed of the camera. So I'm pretty happy with that. We go into this icon over here, and we're gonna set up how it's gonna be rendered. So now it's gonna be going to the project 1 images file name, and you can name the project. Image format, this is where you save, where you select as a movie as AVI. And the frame range is as important. This is where you change how many frames that you used. Start to end at 340 for what I selected. And down on renderable cameras, make sure you have to select camera 1, otherwise it's going to do the perspective. So you go to camera 1, and the image size, then you will select the size of the render. There are several options, but for now, since we're going to put it on YouTube, we want to use something small. Okay, that's the first option, and go on to my software, and the quality, we want to change it to production quality. And under ray trace quality, you want to put ray tracing so you get any shadows. And that should be it for setting up our project, and just click close, and you will go into this icon render and go to batch render, and it will start rendering. And usually, depending on what kind of computers you have, it will take a while for it to render, a couple of hours. And that's it about rendering.